All right. Um Good day to everyone. So today we will discuss on the topic of image segmentation. My name is John Amos. I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Biomedical Engineering at KPR Institute of Engineering and Technology in Coimbatore, and I handle the subject digital image processing. When we look at image segmentation, uh, there are uh, there are different types, different ways in which we segment an image. It will depend on the type of application or what we are actually looking for in a particular image. I believe anyone who is watching this video have a basic understanding of what an image is and how an image is represented. Today we'll be using MATLAB platform to understand these operations. So the first operation that we'll focus on is segmentation of isolated points. So in this, the first thing that we do is we read an image. So we use the function imread, and if the image is a color image, we convert it to grayscale. So here we are trying to identify points which are abnormal. So there is 1 pixel or 2 pixels around which have a different value compared to the values around it. We know that it is some kind of a noise. So to identify that particular point, it is much easier to identify it on a grayscale image. So the first thing that we are doing for the sake of our experiment, we convert the color image to a grayscale image. Right? So we do not know what kind of an image can come as an input. So in case it's a color, it gets converted to gray. If it is not, it will take the same value. Right? So here we are defining two masks. So throughout the topic of segmentation, we will be using different types of masks, and each mask has different purposes. So here we are using something called as a 4-point Laplacian filtered mask, and we have a 8-point Laplacian filtered as well. So if you look at the values of the mask, it's a 3x3 matrix. You can see that the first row takes the value 0, -1 and 0. The second row takes the value -1, 4 and -1. The third row takes the value 0, -1 and 0. So this is mask number 1. We assign it to the variable name M1. Similarly, we define another mask called as M2. So if you look at the values of the first row, you will have the value -1, -1 and -1, -1, 8 and -1. And the last row will have -1, -1 and -1. So if you look at the center value of both these 3x3 matrices, you will find that mask 1 has the value 4 and the second mask has the value 8. So that is where the name comes as a 4-point Laplacian filter or a 8-point Laplacian filter. So irrespective of both the cases, the objective is the same. We are trying to identify isolated points within an image. So to proceed further, what we do is we use the function name imFilter. So imFilter is used to perform this filtering action, and the best way to understand what a function does is to use it in is to observe what it does in MATLAB help. So you have the function imFilter. So if you are new to MATLAB, I would suggest that you very closely work with MATLAB help, because the documentation is very well structured, and you will find all the content that you are looking for. Right? So as we see, imFilter or an image filter is an n-dimensional filtering of multi-dimensional images. So we use the function name imFilter. We'll have two input parameters and we have an output parameter B. So in our particular application, the first parameter is going to be the input image, which is cameraman.jpg, and the second value is going to be the value of the filter. So this is mask 1. So H4 is going to take the output of a filtering action between image and mask 1. Similarly, H8 is going to take the output of a filtering action between image and mask 2. We use the plots, subplots and IMShow just so that we display the image in a favorable form so that it is visible. Right. So let's execute this code and see what output we get. So as you can see, this is your input image of a cameraman and it is a grayscale image. And we have the output of two filters. I'm sorry for the text overlapping, but you can see that it is a 4-point Laplacian filter, and you have a filtered image, and you have an 8-point Laplacian filtered image. So you can see that the 8-point Laplacian filtered image gives a much more deeper analysis and gives more isolated points compared to a 4-point Laplacian filtered image. Right. So this is an isolated point segmentation. So from here we will move into the other types of segmentation. So the next segmentation that we'll talk about is the segmentation of lines. The segmentation of lines. So for every MATLAB program, a healthy way to execute a code is to have the commands CLC, clear and close. You can use clear all and close all, or clear and close. CLC will clear your command window. Clear all will clear your workspace, which means that the values stored, the previous values stored in the variable names will get cleared. And close all will close all the existing images or the image windows. Right? So here again the first step is to read a particular image. We're going to use the same image, cameraman.jpg, and here we are defining a particular threshold value which we take as a input. So the function input in MATLAB expects the user to give a particular value. So we enter the text, enter the threshold value, and whatever value we enter when the code is executed, that gets saved to the variable name d0. Right. So here we are using 4 different masks. So we are talking about segmentation of lines. Right. So in segmentation of lines, we have 4 different masks, because lines can be horizontal, it can be vertical, or it can be diagonal. So MH represents to a mask which focuses on lines that are horizontal. MV focuses on lines that are vertical, and MD1 focuses on lines that are diagonal. So you have 2 angles of diagonality, so MD1 and MD2, and accordingly the masks the masks are defined. So as you can see, this is the first values of row, which is -1, -1 and -1. And the third values of rows is also -1, -1 and -1, except for the center row value, which is 2, 2 and 2. If you look in the vertical value, you can see all second column values will have the value 2, and all the other values have -1. And if you look at the diagonal values, you can see that the first value in the first row, the second value in the second row, and the third value in the third row forms a diagonal mask shape, and the inverted diagonal also will have in the third value in the first row, the second value in the second row, and the first value in the third row will have the value 2. So these are the different types of masks that are created to segment lines, so to segment different types of lines, be it horizontal, vertical or diagonal. So here we are using the same function IMFilter. So we give the input image, and we input the mask, the horizontal mask, and we take that value as f1. The vertical mask, we take the value as f2. Right? So throughout this process, what we are also going to do, apart from filtering, we are also going to, yes, so we are also going to look at an enhanced value of image. So that enhanced value is going to be based on the threshold value d naught that we set, right? So when you say that image, the size of image is going to represent the number of rows and columns, we're going to look at the values of each pixel values in this entire matrix, right? So f1 of ij will give you the first filtered value output, and we're going to sweep through all the values of pixels. So any value that is greater than the threshold, we set it to a new variable g1 of the same index, we give the value 1, right? So if in case this case is false, which means that a particular value in the image f1 has a value which is less than the threshold value. For that, we will assign the value 0. Alright, so the threshold is going to create a final image g1 which is going to have either the value 0 or 1. So that is going to depend on the value of the threshold. So we are having two outputs, one is f1 and the other is g1. So the same process replicates for the other masks as well. So now we are talking about f2. So how was f2 defined? f2 is the output value that you get when you use the vertical mask, right? So f2 in itself is the output. You're going to have segmented lines, and here we are using a threshold to enhance. So here we are again running nested for loops, and we are going to go across the values of f2, and if it is greater than the threshold value, we assign the value 1 to the variable name g2, or we give the value 0 to the variable g2, right? And so we are going to plot what is the input image, what is the horizontal the horizontal line detection, what we have found, and once it is enhanced, what it looks like. Similarly with the vertical as well, right? So we spoke about the horizontal segmentation and the vertical segmentation. Again, we have the diagonal segmentations d1 and d2, right? So the same process applies, and we set the threshold value just to enhance the output. So it might look like a lengthy program, but the concept is very fundamental and it is very simple. So here we're getting an input image. You have a minus 45-degree line detector or a 45-degree line detector, right? So let's see what's the output that we get for this particular image. So it's asking me to enter a value like we said. So we'll simply give the value 1, and let's see what we get. Right. Again, I apologize for the overlap in the text. You can see that the first case, you have an input image, you have a horizontal line detectors, which means that any segmentation that it can do based on commonality in values across horizontally, right? So you can see that possibly maybe one example is to focus on the tripod stand of the camera, right? So as you can see, in the horizontal lines, the horizontal line detector does not capture the vertical tripod stand, but the vertical line detector does a much better job in capturing the tripod stand. So similarly, we have the enhanced output as well, where we have converted the entire image, where we have set a particular threshold value to it, and so it either takes the value 1 or it takes the value 0. Right. So this is for the horizontal and vertical line detector, and similarly with the 45-degree line detector as well. Right. So you have the input image, the minus 45-degree and the plus 45-degree, and you have the enhanced image as well. So this comes under line detection. So first we spoke about isolated points, and now we are talking about segmentation of lines. the last topic that we can see is segmentation of edges. Right. So in edge segmentation, again, like all codes, it is highly recommended that we go with CLC clear all and close all. So we start with a clean slate, and here we are reading an image of a house, right? And we can read in a particular threshold value, and the mask is what determines what kind of segmentation we are doing. So here you can see that the center value is 8, right? So that is taken as the mask, and that is given to the filter. So we use the same function IM filter. We input the image variable and the mask value M2, right? So the value, the output value that you're going to get stores in the variable F1, and you also have a enhanced value which is G, and both these values are shown at the output. So here it's asking me for a threshold value again, just for the enhanced output part. So you can see of the house that we have, this is the edge segmented areas, right? So only the edges of the house and all the other regions are actually you have a common black shade to it, and the edges are clearly visible. So these are the different types of segmentation that we follow. The first is isolated points. The second is line segmentation. So based on the orientation, we can find the different types of lines. And then we have edge segmentation. All right. So segmentation has a lot of applications, especially in the area of healthcare. So it is very important that we understand and have a good hold of how the tool works. Right? So for more content, you can actually go through Gonzalez textbook on digital image processing, which is a wonderful book to follow. Right? Thank you.